Today on Sports World, it's traveling time again. First, we go down the road to one of the nation's capitals, Madison, Wisconsin, in America's Dairyland for the U.S. Men's Powerlifting Championships. Today, Sports World commentator and 9-time world powerlifting champion Larry Pacifico puts down his microphone in an attempt to pick up the 1980 National Powerlifting title in the heavyweight division. Standing in his way are hungry newcomer Mark Dimmaduk and nearly 2,000 pounds of unyielding iron. Then it's across the cold waters of the North Atlantic to the sunny southern shores of France for the World Series of track and field, the pole vault. American Billy Olson, coached by the ubiquitous Dwight Stones, has to face the Flying Frenchman, the toughest team in the world. And then it's back to the US of A as Sports Journal presents the findings from its unofficial inquest into the 5 brain-damaged deaths of American boxers in 1980. Fight Dr. Bernie Pacheco and myself, Marv Albert, inquire into the conditions which allowed Willie Klassen and 4 others to suffer their death in the ring. Then the direction southwest, the speed of light, as Sports World goes to the high Sierras for the penultimate event in Sports World Survival of the Fittest. Today, the grueling British Marine Test. And finally, Sports World heads east to West Berlin, where we caught up with Arnold Palmer to discuss his first North American victory in 7 years in the Canadian PGA. That's all today on NBC's Sports World. This is NBC Sports World, and today it's brought to you by Erlanger. One look, one sip, one taste will tell you this beer is a classic. By Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. By the Gillette Swivel Razor, the new disposable with a moving head for the swivelized shave. And by Sears Tire and Auto Center, home of straight talk, good values, and satisfaction.
A year ago at the Men's Senior National Powerlifting Championships in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, 114-pounder Chuck Dunbar establishes new world records in the squat and the bench press. This summer in Madison, Wisconsin, Chuck breaks his own marks. Record-breaking performances again in the squat and the bench press. A year ago, as a 165-pounder, Mike Bridges puts on an incredible show. 3 world marks: squat, bench press, and total. This summer, he moves up to the 181-pound class, and he needs this clutch effort on his 3rd attempt at the squat to set himself up eventually for a total record in the 181-pound class. In 1979, Lamar Gant made a series of tactical errors, and those mistakes cost him his chances for records and a title. But in 1980, he plays it smart and establishes a new total record for 123-pounders. But amidst the successes, there are also failures. With the temperatures pushing 100 degrees in the sweltering contest hall, Joe Bradley doesn't fare as well. He loses 6 pounds the evening before the competition. And the man reputed to be, pound for pound, the strongest in the world, not only bombs out, he passes out. Some of the strongest men in America gather in the shadow of the Wisconsin State Capitol to vie for the individual weight class titles and berths on the U.S. powerlifting team, which will compete in the World Championships later this year. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Costas at the U.S. Men's Senior National Powerlifting Championships in Madison, Wisconsin. Already in this competition, we've seen several world records approached and some others broken. Working with us today, both up front and backstage, interviewing some of the competitors, is Tony Carpino. Tony is a past national champion and has held some world records himself. Tony, can we expect that record onslaught to continue?
Well, as we had last year in Bay St. Louis, I think we'll see a number of world records both set today and also attempted. The lifters are here in full force. Everyone's in great condition, and there are a number of lifters in each class that could possibly win. That means with this keen competition, strategy as well as strength is going to be a key element in determining who wins first place. A lifter must select his attempts correctly in order to position him for a berth on the World Championship team.
And we have the ongoing story of Larry Pacifico, 9 consecutive times a world champion. Can he possibly start along the road today toward number 10?
I think Larry's in great condition, and he should be able to pull off another national title, his 9th, and set up a berth on the World Championship team to set up for his 10th World Championship title, which will be an unprecedented feat in sports history. 10 titles in a row, and either weightlifting or powerlifting has never been approached, not even by the great Vasily Alexiev.
So the stage has been set, and stand by for powerlifting from Madison, Wisconsin. World. Back in Madison, Bob Costas with Tony Carpino. The crowd sweats it out, waiting for the start of competition. They'll see lifters ranging to upwards of 300 pounds. Sports fans probably have a mental picture of the ideal build for a running back or maybe a slugging outfielder. But what about powerlifters? To answer that, here's Tony backstage.
When we discuss the body types which makes one excel at an individual lift, I think we have 3 fine examples of it here. We have Paul Wren, former world record holder in the squat, who demonstrates the kind of structure that one would like to have if he was going to be a squatter. We have a thick overall body structure with a large midsection, thick, short legs, and an overall compact structure. Now, when we get to the bench press, which is a test of upper body strength, we have Larry Pacifico, who's a 9-time world champion, who really demonstrates a really powerful-looking upper body with thick pecs, pectoral muscles, thick chest, large round deltoids, and really full arms. And that's the kind of characteristics one needs to push a heavy weight off one's chest. Finally, we have Vince Anello, former world champion and world record holder in the deadlift, who demonstrates the kind of physique one would want to have to excel in the deadlift. He has a short torso and very long arms and very powerful back.
This is Anello's class, the 198-pounders, the standings through the squat and bench press. Jerry Jones leads. However, Estep, Hatfield, Ennis, and Sanger have all lifted in this next event, the deadlift, and not done especially well. Anello is well back in the pack. Ernie Frantz, who's up there in the standings, like Anello, yet to lift. They both have a chance to close in on Jones.
This is Jones' 2nd attempt. He earlier set a world record in the squat.
Is he psyched?
He's ready for this lift. I think he needs this. It'll set him up for a really good total. He'll be the man to catch. Needs a good big pull.
About 715 pounds on the bar.
Weight's going. Looks like he's got it. Look for the lights.
1 red, 2 white. He does have it.
Well, that's all you need is 2 white lights. It's 3 judges, majority vote rules, and right now he is happy. This is by far the best total he's ever compiled. Well over 1,900 pounds. He's in really good shape right now.
Next on stage will be Vince Anello. Vince will be trying to lift 732 pounds. He holds the world record in the deadlift. In his classification, a lift of over 800. And Tony asked him which is his favorite lift.
The deadlift, of course, because I hold the world records in a deadlift, and my body structure is suitable to deadlifting.
By suitable, what characteristics make you, better than everybody else? Because I know you are.
Well, I have a relatively short upper back, relatively long arms, and a hinge in the middle of my back.
A hinge, huh? Isn't that illegal?
No, I had that put in when I was born.
And that hinge would come in handy as he tries to hoist 732 pounds here.
This should be a piece of cake for him. This really should be an easy lift.
His mom in the audience.
She's always at all of his contests. Wait, no, you got red lights.
Why?
I don't think his shoulders are back on that. Vince has a little bit of a problem with getting his shoulders back, but I can see him making the lift on a 2nd attempt.
As we look again at the first effort, note the concentration on the face and in the upper body of Vince Anello.
Well, you've really got to put all out into these lifts, and Vince just does all that.
Saturate now.
All right, here we go. I'd bet the house on this one.
Yeah.
This will be a piece of cake. He needs it, he'll do it. No question in my mind. Vince is a competitor all the way.
His second attempt at 732 pounds in the deadlift.
Okay, good lift. Everybody's happy with that one.
Especially his mom and dad.
They're always happy with him. Okay, I think Vince has got one attempt left, and he'll probably just wait it out, go for whatever he needs to win. Meantime, here's Jones. This is Jones' final attempt. Same 731 pounds. He can ice the competition with this, but this will be by far more than he's ever done before.
This is not, I take it, his strongest event.
No, he's a squatter. I mean, you know, when it comes to squatting, he wrote the book. He's not quite up to par on the bench and the deadlift of some of the other lifters. But right now, he's in first place, and this will just about ice it.
It doesn't appear to be there.
No, I don't think it's there today. He looks like he's having a little trouble with his back.
Get your belt off, Jerry. Get your belt off. Get your belt off. I'm all right.
No, he says he's okay.
God, it's hard.
And it won't get any easier. As the weights get higher, the temperature gets no lower. But Jerry Jones still leads, and here's Tony with it.
Jerry, do you think that's enough to hold first place?
It's going to be tough. I think Vince might pull it. It's well within his reach. I don't think he can hang on to it, so I think I have won.
Well, I wish you a lot of luck.
Thanks, Tony. I hope Vince a lot of luck, too.
Ernie Frantz now with his second attempt at about 738 pounds.
He should be good for this. He's done 760. I think he's got a good shot at the weight.
One of the older competitors.
Yeah, he's in his late 40s, but just goes to show you can be old and still be very strong. Here we go. Bar's moving good. Shoulders back. Looks for lights.
Is it a good lift?
Lift is good. Lift is good. 3 white lights. He's pretty happy about that.
Let's take another look at it.
Okay, here we see Ernie taking the weight off the floor. Pulling it up. Legs and back getting into it. Shoulders going back. For a 48-year-old man, that's one heck of a lift. Ernie's been around for quite some time, and he really just improves with age.
And with that lift, Ernie moves solidly into second place. He's happy about it. The wave to the crowd. Now, his third attempt in the deadlift. He's moved up to 777 pounds. If he hoists this, he's got first place.
Yes, and this will be the best he's ever done in the deadlift. I think it's going to be a real all-out effort. And let's see what he can do. He's got to give it all he's got.
Not there.
No, not today. I think a little bit heat and just a heck of a lot of weight.
That heat and humidity, as we've mentioned before, big factor. Perspiration builds up on the bar. And as it's being cleaned off now, for Vince Anello, he stands as the only man remaining among the 198-pounders with a chance to catch Jerry Jones. Jones, who led after the bench and the squat, is in the lead now. Anello needs this 788-pound lift to tie Jones. And because Anello is the lighter man, if he gets it, he'll have first place. And
He's got it. He's got it. Lift is good. Lift is good. 3 white lights. Anello is the national champion. He won it. He put it all together.
And he's happy about it. His mom and dad showing the strain that they felt in the audience.
Look at that back go to work. Look at that bar move, that back muscle, shoulders going back, all the way back. Lift looks good. Anello is indeed the best deadlifter in the world. And he's pretty happy about it. Look at that.
He finishes dead even with Jerry Jones, but as we said, Anello, the lighter man, gains the edge in first place by virtue of being the smaller man. He wants the bar to know that he conquered it. And now here he is with Tony.
Vince, how do you feel?
Great.
You just won the Nationals, and you're on your way to the world.
Thank you.
Did you expect the competition to be so tight and so tough?
Yes, but I worried about the heat and the humidity. But I had to grip that bar. I came through. It scared me. The first attempt, when they got me on shoulders. I can't believe it. Am I dreaming?
No, you won. You won. You're not dreaming. What about your mom and dad? Would they help being out there?
Yes, they're happy too.
Are you thinking about the worlds now, or are you still in a dream world?
Ron Collins, next.
Vince referring to Ron Collins of Great Britain, a multiple world record holder who has moved up this year to the 198-pound class. And Vince Anello, who embraces third-place finisher Ernie Frantz there, has a date with Ron Collins in Arlington, Texas later this year for the World Championship. Mrs. Anello, like everybody else, breathing easier. And the standings as we look again at the jubilation of Vince Anello. He takes first place in a close call over Jerry Jones. Ernie Frantz, at 48 years of age, comes in third. 32-year-old Vince Anello, a school teacher from Middleburg Heights, Ohio, reigns supreme among the 198-pounders. We've seen world records, we've seen upsets, and there's more to come, including the 220-pounders and Larry Pacifico when we return to Madison, Wisconsin. We return now to Madison, Wisconsin. Bob Costas with Tony Carpino, Men's Senior National Powerlifting Championships. As promised, the 220-pounders featuring Larry Pacifico in pursuit of World Championship number 10. And possibly very well on his way. Earlier, he established a new world record in the squat competition. 804 pounds on the bar, and Larry is more than equal to the task. Earlier, Tony Carpino spoke with him and asked him if this competition is any different in terms of preparation.
You know, it's just like the first one. I always try to get just as nervous and just as psyched up, just like it was my first competition, which is, I think, is one of the reasons why I've been so successful. I want to be world champion this year. What's happened last year is in the past. I want to be this year's world champion.
You mentioned psyching up. What do you do to prepare for the lifts? Anything special? Do you think about anything?
Just what I've already done it before. I know exactly what's expected of me. The lift's been done before, and I figure, well, if somebody else has done it, I can certainly do it again or do a little bit better.
What happens with world records when you're breaking new ground? No one's done that before.
Well, it always feels good to break a world record, but world records don't win contests. Right here, you got to hit the right lifts at the right time. If the world record happens to be there, that's okay. I'll take it.
Larry Pacifico, the most prominent name in powerlifting today, and this was his bench press effort earlier. 529 pounds. His wife, Carol, looking on, and she appears confident that Larry Pacifico can handle it. With ease, 529 pounds.
Lift looked easy enough, but you notice Larry did go for his shoulder. I think that injury may be bothering a bit.
Injury or not, he still has a lead of more than 100 pounds over his closest competitors, and apparently he's on his way to another title. When we return to Madison, Wisconsin, we'll have the final installment of this year's Larry Pacifico story. We'll be back with more powerlifting later, but now to Charlie Jones at the World Series of Track and Field. Welcome back to Madison, Wisconsin. Bob Costas along with Tony Carpino. We're 2/3 of the way through. We've seen the squat and the bench press, and now behind us, they're setting up for the deadlift.
Well, they have a saying in powerlifting. It says that when the weight goes to the floor, that's when all the action begins. The deadlifts will determine today who's going to be first, second, and third in this contest. It will determine the placings.
Right now, the standings, first, second, and third. Pacifico, Dimmoduck, and Johnson. And Pacifico apparently with a comfortable advantage. A lead of more than 100 pounds, headed for another title. Apparently not so comfortable. The people out in the stands, temperatures inside around 100 degrees. But nobody is leaving, with Larry Pacifico in pursuit of world title number 10. He needs to prevail here, however, in the national championships to get a place in that world competition. His first deadlift attempt, 683 pounds, but no, 3 red lights. What happened to Larry?
It looks like they might have called him for not getting his shoulders back, Bob.
Well, I'm sitting here out front, but you have the angle from the back, the same angle that we're looking at here, the judge's angle, and maybe we can tell.
Let's look at the shoulders. Back straight, shoulders back. If he lifts, borderline, could go either way.
And it went against him.
Yeah, the judges normally give the lifter the benefit of the doubt, but in their opinion, the lift was no good.
And now here's Larry, right back, 688 pounds on the bar. That's an increase of, between 5 and 6 pounds, about 2.5 kilos, which is the minimum increase in weight allowed in powerlifting rules. If he gets this, it's in the bag, but I don't think he has it.
He didn't get it. He didn't get it. He's in trouble.
And wife Carol has to be concerned. It appeared to be a title in the bag, but suddenly he's in trouble.
He never had control of the weight. I can't believe what's happening. I mean, he should have smoked this. He should have gotten this weight and pulled it for reps.
So Larry Pacifico's 3 red lights tell the story. He's missed 2 straight deadlift attempts. And now we have some conversation going on along the sidelines as Larry prepares for attempt number 3.
Something's going on by the table.
Judge Lyle Schwartz trying to explain a ruling to Larry Pacifico as they add some weight for what would be his 3rd attempt.
I thought a man gets 3 attempts no matter.
Bob, I'm going to get over to the table.
Honest to God, I didn't know the rule.
Judge Schwartz trying to find the rule here for Larry Pacifico, and if I'm not mistaken, for 3.
My second attempt. But he said it was my second attempt.
That's right. It was second attempt, but there's no 3rd attempt. An increase, the progression is by at least 5 kilograms at a time, and a request for 2.5 kilograms only indicates the last attempt.
I still don't interpret it that way.
All the international referees do. There isn't any question about this rule. I couldn't be more sorry, but there is no question about this rule.
I still don't interpret it that way. That is the rule. I'm bombed out.
So incredibly, Larry Pacifico is eliminated. He appeared to be cruising to another title. Suddenly, a turn of events has knocked him out of the competition, throwing the door wide open to a number of lifters, including 26-year-old Mark Dimmoduck. This deadlift attempt of 738 pounds would put him in the lead if successful. He's got it, but the big story is still Larry Pacifico, and here he is.
Larry, what happened up there?
Well, I guess I was ignorant to a ruling that I wasn't aware of, I'm afraid. If you only jump 2.5 kilos, which I did from the first to the second, I missed my first. I jumped 2.5 kilos to my second. I missed. That means I don't get a 3rd attempt. I'm out of the contest.
Well, how do you feel about this whole thing?
What can I say? You know, there goes my 10th title down the drain, and I was just ignorant to the rule, I'm afraid.
Do you think if you had a 3rd attempt, you would have pulled it?
I don't really think so, because I have a torn bicep, and I tore my hand on the second one, so I would have liked to give it a go, but I can't even do that. So, well, I'll have to come back next year.
Larry Pacifico gracious in defeat despite difficult circumstances. His misfortune is Mark Dimmoduck's gain. Dimmoduck suddenly in first place among the 220-pounders as we look again at his successful deadlift of 738 pounds. And the new leader talks with Tony Carpino.
Mark, do you think that's enough to win?
Not with McCann.
You think McCann can pull a big deadlift?
If he can hold on to it, he got it.
What's your next lift going to be?
Whatever I need to win. Whatever I need to win.
So Mark Dimmoduck says he'll wait for the rest of the field to try and catch him. But the big story, this man, Larry Pacifico. He fails on his first 2 deadlift attempts. A technicality denies him a 3rd opportunity. And the championship is down the drain. Now Larry, like the rest of us, becomes only a spectator. The competition continues in Madison, Wisconsin. Bob Costas and Tony Carpino. You're looking at Mark Dimmoduck. With Larry Pacifico suddenly eliminated, Dimmoduck looms as the favorite to take the 220-pound class. He's the leader right now, and this is his 3rd deadlift attempt. 755 pounds on the bar.
Bob, this is the key lift for Mark. His grip is going to have to hold out. The heat is getting to everyone. If he can just hang on to that bar and get a good lift, he'll build up a lead that I don't think anyone can touch him. This is Mark's lift of the day.
755 is an awful lot to pull, and he will not be there.
Not today. Lift is not good. He never finished the lift. He couldn't get the lift all the way up. The judges stopped the lift. It looks like Mark is going to have to sit with what he has.
Tony, he's headed your way.
Mark, you think it's going to be enough to hang on?
Like I said, Chip McCann's the only one I'm worried about. If he can hold on to it, he can pull the big one.
How do you feel right now?
I feel real good, except for my hands. I could have did that lift.
Came close to 900 kilo.
Yeah, I'm real good about that, but except for the squat today, I messed up. Bad bench, a little bad luck, but I feel good, real good.
So the weight moves up now to 760 pounds. And here's the man that Dimmoduck is concerned about, Chip McCann.
Well, this is Chip's second attempt. He sat back and waited. This lift will put him in first place. He's going for first, and I really think he's got a good opportunity to make this lift. He's done close to 800 pounds as a 198-pounder. He's heavier here. It's just a matter, can he hold on to the bar? Will the heat affect him like everyone else?
Getting ready, doing a psych job on himself here. Trying to lift 760 pounds.
No, the lift is not good. Never had control of the bar, slipped out of his hands.
He draws 3 red lights and falls short.
Hey, I want that bar, Bob, as you can hear, everybody backstage is concerned about the bar. It's been a problem. The heat, you can't hold the bar. No one's grip is holding out. Everybody looks strong enough to do the weight, but they just can't seem to hold onto the bar. The heat is definitely a factor.
Chip McCann at the moment of truth, and as you can see, he got nearly to the top of his effort in pretty good shape. But the grip provided the difficulties, and he wasn't able to do it.
Well, he's got one more attempt left, and here he comes out for it. Same weight. He needs this for a win, his last and final attempt. If he makes this, he'll go into the lead.
Again, 760 pounds.
No, not even breaking the floor. I mean, just wasn't there. I don't know if you can pick it up, but his hand is bleeding. His hand is pretty severely cut up. He gave it his best try, but it's all over.
And one less worry for Mark Dimmoduck. Tony?
What are you thinking about the Worlds now, huh?
It hasn't even got to my head yet. I'm really not counting on anything yet until I see what happens here.
Well, how old are you?
26.
Not bad for a 26-year-old.
Yeah, I've been working at it for 7 years. It's about time.
I know it.
A lot of help from you too, Tony.
Okay, let's watch together.
Really powerful guy. If he's got the mental head for it and can hold on to it, he may pull it out, but I seriously don't think he got it in. If he pulls it, I'd be very surprised.
For David Schneider, his second deadlift attempt. 770 pounds on the bar. Trouble with the grip.
I don't think he's got it in him. He's got another chance at it.
Another look now at the unsuccessful attempt at 770 pounds. Had he succeeded with this one, Tony, it would have put him into first place.
But he didn't, and the contest is still looking like it's Mark Dimmoduck's. Mark is still solidly in first, but Schneider has one attempt left. But I really don't think he's going to be able to do it.
This is that attempt again at 770 pounds.
Let's see what he can do. Watch the lift.
This is for the win. If he can lift it.
He's got to give it everything he's got. He's looking good. Bar is moving.
Again the grip.
No, he didn't have control of the bar.
All right.
He missed it.
I got it.
National champion.
I got it.
How do you feel about this whole thing now? It's all over.
Really good. Really good.
Did you expect to win when you came here?
Well, I figured I just wanted to give Larry Pacifico a good run for his money, but after a little bad luck in the squat, I didn't really know. But I figured whatever I needed to win in a deadlift, I was going to take.
But it's not over yet. There is still one man with at